for speaking to Arabian Reseller. We would like to start with a brief on the document scanning solutions that you have on offer.
Right, of course. Thank you guys for visiting us today. Before I talk about the solutions that we offer, let me guide you through the history of document scanning. I'll try to do it quite quickly. So in the early 1990s, you'd look at organizations and what they cared about, or what the requirement was, is to archive or digitize all the documents that you have. This is a concept that we call scan to archive. And we have a whole bunch of series in our portfolio that cover this type of problems. It's under our production scanning solutions. Now in the early 2000s, and pretty much until this point of time, you'd see organizations looking at capturing information straight to a business process. This is quite essential to provide high customer service and at the same time achieve operational excellence. Right? But for these types of problems, you need distributed scanning solutions in a distributed scanning environment, along with intelligent capture engines. This is something that we've been working on throughout the years, something that we keep developing, and we are showcasing those solutions in our experience center. Now, what we noticed recently is that organizations and governments are looking at capturing the content on physical documents closer to the customer points. Now, this is what we call capture at the edge. So getting as close as possible to your customers, for them to be able to send you the information that you need. But there are many challenges that comes with capturing at the edge, right? So if you look at something like, banks, right? They have so many branches, hundreds of branches, right? And thousands of employees. So if you want to equip each employee with a document scanner, this means that you need to bring in a PC along with it, build an IT infrastructure in terms of drivers, cabling, etc., which can be quite expensive. So it's not only a document scanner that you're talking about anymore, right? And then, having hundreds of those, or thousands in some cases, means that you've got a big challenge in managing them. And that starts with the installation, setting them up, updating the systems, right? So it becomes just a mess. Now, a third challenge, and a very, very important challenge, as closer you get to the customer, you lose the validation point that your employees do, right? So when the information goes to your systems, you need some sort of a messaging system that tells you, right, this information is okay to go or not, and give a notification. Because in a regular scenario, the employee would look at the document and say, well, you're missing a signature here, or there are some items missing that you need to fill out. But when you give that privilege to a customer, which is capture at the edge again, then you need that sort of bi-directional messaging, which in the current systems in the market is not available, right? Now, a fourth challenge in capture at the edge is that, and this is more partner-centric, right? So we look at ISPs and system integrators. They spend a lot of time specifying a product, integrating it with their existing systems, and offering to their clients. But then it goes into the procurement department, where they turn it to a bidding war, and they end up buying the cheapest product, ending up eventually by commoditizing the product. So it's not really beneficial for the customer, but for the partner, right? So eventually, if you want to deploy capture at the edge, you need a breakthrough in technology. And this is what we've been doing in our research and development labs in Rochester, in New York. So we have our system on chip architecture that is deployed into our scanners. Combine that with Internet of Things, then you've got a system that can solve all these problems and limitations for you. You've got a bi-directional system that you'll get to see with our Infuse solution. Now, under Infuse, there are three major components for the client, right? So first, you start with Infuse management software, which is really important for the integration part. for device provisioning and fleet management and that sort of things. Then you've got the scanner, right? Infuse AX scanner, which has the system-on-chip architecture that can guarantee the best document and paper handling along with the best and crisp image quality, right? And the third important component is the partner's business process application. That's something that can be integrated into the ecosystem, and then you provide a full solution that can be even white labeled and branded under the partner's brand, which obviously gives them an edge. It changes the sales cycle, if you like, and the regular procurement cycle, giving them the right edge and competitive edge. So many edges right there.
So in terms of document scanning or data capturing and management as well, what kind of challenges are companies facing these days, and how do your products help them overcome those challenges?
Yes, a very good question, because it varies from one client to another. And as I explained to you, the history of document scanning, we see clients at different phases. So yesterday we had a client from Saudi Arabia coming in. Their archiving process is so outdated. There actually no archiving process or no scanning process, let's say. They manually input the data into a system and they physically store the documents. There is no digital presence of the document, right? So with these types of clients, you need to scan pretty much all of the documents that they have, and then worry about the next step. So how can you get that information into a process? But first of all, look at all the documents that you have and digitize them. So you have those types of challenges that we face, and they're all over the place. And so from Dubai office, we cover Middle East, Africa, Turkey, Russia, and CIS countries. And in all countries, you see similar clients. And then you've got clients that have already passed that step, right? And looking at capturing the information straight to a business process. So you've got application forms, you've got invoices, any sort of document. Today, data is coming in so many forms. It can come through physical documents. We look at the Middle East, and it's a great benchmark because organizations and governments still rely a lot on paper documents, right? But they can come digitally. They can come through an email. I've got clients who send me WhatsApp orders, right? And probably you face the same thing, and it happens in pretty much any industry. So how do you deal with this data, right? You need smart, intelligent capture engines that can analyze this data, can look at that document regardless of the source and say, right, this is an application form and it needs to go to this system. This is an employee contract and it should trigger the starting date, the onboarding process, the IT setup, etc. Right? So these types of systems are quite important to have when you're scanning for a process. And again, we have so many applications in the region. We see so many clients moving towards scanning to process. And then the third challenge, which is capturing at the edge, right? Because as I mentioned, getting the data into a process is important to guarantee customer satisfaction and achieve operational excellence, right? And in are competing in that space. They want their customers to say, right, you are my go-to provider, right? So companies, there's no doubt that they want to achieve this, and but then getting the client or getting the capturing point to the client, whether they're using a mobile or using something like Infuse, is the next step really, and we see massive potential in the region for that.
So we spoke about challenges, we spoke about how you work with your partners. We would like to understand what kind of opportunities are present for your partners, and how do you work with them in order to deploy the solutions at your customer's place.
Yeah, absolutely. A very, very important point that you mentioned here. It was at Kodak Alaris and Alaris business unit. We are partner centric. So our partners are our power. We focus on them, and we always strive to deliver the best for them. So obviously we have a partner program developed for them that gives them a lot of benefits. But I'm not going to get into that, but because we are focused and specialized in document scanning, we see the challenges that partners have. Now, as I mentioned, it becomes a commodity at this stage, and this is the edge that we're bringing with Infuse solution. This is something that the partner can confidently bring in front of their clients and say, hey, no one else can provide this for you. I gave you a fully integrated system and no one else can provide it for you. But that's a very important point, for partners, particularly ISVs and system integrators.
Thank you for speaking to Arabian Reseller. It was nice having you with us.
Thank you.